皆さん、こんばんは、こんにちは、おはようございます。Okay. Alright, let me just adjust a little bit. Wait a minute. Okay, so today, as you can see, we're going to cover Chēnソーマン. I know it's been a movie at the movie theaters, and I did go watch the movie. I liked it. It's good. I haven't caught up with the manga yet. So far, I've read until Vol.1, I think, and I do love it. Yes, one of my friends actually requested to do this, so I'm doing this tonight. Okay. Let's see how much we can cover today. All right. So, let me just adjust a little bit. Yeah. So we have, just to let everyone know, like I do every time, I do buy these books online legally, just to let you know. So, with that, I am a Japanese teacher, and at the same time, I love manga, anime. So, basically, I collaborate with manga and anime. I read manga, translate into English, and then, explain linguistically what, some phrases mean in Japanese. So with that, without further ado, let's read Chainsaw Man together. Hi. Yeah, I do like the art style, the vibe of the anime, manga. It's really good. I do have to catch up with the manga though. So, but let's start. Okay. So, author Fujimoto Tatsuki. Hi. Nothing else about the first page, but with that. Hi. First scene. 木切って。はい。木切って。Well, this small e, of course, you don't need it. Just 木切って. What's omitted here is the particle o. 木を切って。はい。This one is te form of the verb 切る to cut, right? Te form of it. So what's omitted here is 切ってください. Polite version 切ってください. Te form, verb te form plus ください means please do something, right? But when you take off ください, it's please do something in casual speech. So this one is confusing, right? Especially because it's just te form of a verb. So when you learn te form, you learn that te form is just the basic function of te form is to connect. So that's why like te form, for example, 今日はラーメンを食べて寝ました for example. I ate ramen and slept, right? So te form is used to connect to other sentences or words, right? So with that, when you see just verb te form and that's it, it might look like it's not the end of a sentence, right? But then again, this is casual version. What's omitted here is kudasai, right? So with that, just remind yourself whenever you see a verb te form and that's it, then it could mean, hey, do this, please do this in casual speech, okay? So with that, ki kitte, this small e is added because, this ki, whenever a word is just one hiragana, one letter, right? We tend to elongate the vowel. So for example, ka, ka means mosquito. just one letter, right? But then if you want to say, for example, I ate a mosquito, 蚊を食べた, right? 蚊を食べた. Just like how I said it. I did unconsciously elongate. Like I kind of added the vowel. Why? Because if you just simply just say 蚊を食べた, it might be difficult for other people to register that, ka is mosquito. So whenever the words that just is one hiragana, we tend to elongate that, just to let you know. And then we do have lots of words that are just one hiragana. For example, chi is blood, ji is hemorrhoid, ha is teeth, right? There's many. So just know that it's natural tendency to elongate, to let people know, hey, I'm just, saying this one word that's just one letter, but letting you know that it is just one word and that's what I meant. Okay? So with that, 木切って, hey, cut the tree. Right? 月収6万だろう. Get kanji for month or moon. Literal meaning of this kanji is moon, but it means month. Shu. New is income. So, 月収 monthly income, 6万, 60k yen. It's not 60k like US dollars, 60k. So today, this would be about $400, 400 US dollars. だろう, this law, instead of, is supposed to be the だろう. だろう, 何々だろう. 何々だろう is casual version of 何々でしょう. でしょう means probably. So this one is basically saying, hey, your monthly income is just $400 a month, right? Is what it's saying. Okay. この間. この again. Oh, hey, Koko-san. Et Kurio-san. Hey. こんにちは. Hi. この間. So この is one of the combinations of koso-ado words, like ここ、そこ、あそこ、どこ, here, there, over there, where, or これ、それ、あれ、どれ, this thing, that thing over there, which thing, right? この, when you combine koso-ado with no, it is to connect directly to a noun. So, この noun means this noun. Like if you want to say this person, この人, その人, that person, あの人, that person over there, どの人, which person. What's connected here is aida. Aida literally means duration. So literal meaning is this duration, this time. But この間 as to get more like an idiom, この間 means the other day. はい、この間 the other day 打った腎臓. はい You see here 打った is past tense of the verb 売る to sell. 打った腎臓 腎臓 is kidney. はい So here, as you know, as many of you know who are studying Japanese, typically verb comes at the end of a sentence in Japanese. But then here you see a verb is in the middle of a sentence, right? You see here jinzo follows after the verb. Whenever you see this kind of sentence where a verb is in the middle of a sentence, especially when a verb is plain form, it's not like urimasu or urimashita, and directly connected to a noun, jinzo is kidney again, right? So this one is using the ground point of noun qualifying sentence, meaning in English, noun that, noun who, noun where, noun when, and then sub-sentence. Like for example, I know someone who eats poop. I went to this place where people eat poop. I remember the time when I ate poop, right? This sentence structure is called noun qualifying sentence. This is again in English so far. In Japanese, how do we say this? Noun qualifying sentence. We actually start with sub-sentence first. Okay, sub-sentence. And then noun right after that. How do we connect sub-sentence to a noun? We don't need to put anything like we do in English. We do, many times it's optional, but, in English, depending on the context, we pick one of, these, right? But in Japanese, we don't need to put anything. Make sure the last word at the end of the sub-sentence is plain. Yeah. Hola, Johan. Thank you for watching. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any question. Okay, so again, noun qualifying sentence in Japanese, we start with sub-sentence, make sure the end of the sub-sentence is plain, and then directly connect to a noun. Going back to this sentence. この間打った腎臓。この間打った means the other day I sold, right? 腎臓 Utta is a verb, plain verb in the middle of a sentence, directly connected to this noun. That's when you're like, oh, okay, so this is noun qualifying sentence. So using that grammar point, kidney that I sold the other day. Got the kidney that I sold the other day, ... 120万円. When it comes to converting from Japanese yen to US dollars, or, from US dollars to Japanese yen, it is, it's a math problem. It takes some brain energy, right? So 120万. Today, with the current conversion rate, $1 is about 153 yen. But let's simplify into 150 yen. It used to be about $1. $1 was 100 yen, so that was a lot easier to convert. But today, here, it's a little bit more difficult. So, 120万円. How much is this in US dollars, right? It's about 7K US dollars. Yeah, well, you can calculate, but, with my, not so smart brain, I would say about 7K. So to sell a kidney, it costs, you would get about 7K in this manga, or in this world at least. Okay. はい。右目が、はい。右 is right. 左 is left, right? 右目 is eye, so right eye が right eye is 30万. So that's about 2K US dollars. はい。金玉 kin is gold, tama is bowl. So literal meaning is golden bowl. This one is testicle. はい。片方 means one of the two is the connotation. So for example, like, you see whatever that usually has two. For example, we have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 arms, like typically, right? Like these stuff, right? If you want to say one of them, you can just say 片方. So 金玉片方, one of the testicles. 打って ... So this one is, you might, from the beginning here, right? 木切って it ended with verb te form. And I just said that if you see a sentence that ends with this just verb te form, it usually means please do something in casual speech. Here, 金玉片方打って ... You might be like, okay, this one is the same thing. Please sell one of your testicles. But no. This one is with the context, right? He's just talking to himself, right? So and then dot 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 meaning, like there was a continuation of the sentence, but he just omitted. So I wouldn't translate this as please sell. I would just translate as normal telephone, meaning connecting to the next sentence. So I would translate this as selling one of my testicles. Dot dot dot. いくらで売れたっけ? いくら means how much. This particle de is not place of action. Particle de has two main functions. One, place of action or activity or event, like I study at school. 学校で勉強する。Place of activity. 学校でテストがある。There's an exam at school. 学校でコンサートがある。There's concert at school. That's place of event, right? That's one of the functions. There's another function of the particle de, and that is basically using or by means of. So, いくらで売れた? Whenever you see a noun that's not a place, then it's safe to assume this de is using the second function, meaning using. So, literal meaning is using how much did I sell, meaning how much did I sell one of my testicles for? Ke, this small tsu and ke is pretty convenient. We do use a lot in Japanese casual speech. Nani nani, nani nani ke. It's basically when you're trying to remember, for example, like I would translate like, what was it? For example, many times I forget, some people's names. In that case, and when I want to ask and be like, hey, I'm sorry, what was your name? Right? What was your name? Namae, name. Nan deshita? Right? Nani deshita? What was the name? Nan deshitakke? By adding ke at the end after this, it would add the meaning of, hey, I forgot, I'm trying to remember, what was it? So, 名前何でしたっけ? What was your name? Okay. So with that, what he's trying to say, いくらで売れたっけ? How much did I sell one of my testicles for? Is how, you can translate maybe. 10万円もしなかったんだっけ? Again, this one. Since he's, this one too, he's trying to remember. So he uses the small k again. 10万円もする. So this mo is not the also particle. This one is using this good grammar point where, for example, you see this water. Oops, I made a mistake with the stroke order. But let's say there's a cup, and half of it is filled with water, right? And people say, would you consider this as half full or half empty, right? Depends on your perspective. Like people would say, like if you a positive thinker, then you would consider this as, oh, I still have half full of water. Or if you're a negative thinker like me, I would always be like, oh, it's almost gone. I already drank everything, right? So in this case, where you want to imply that, for example, there's still half left and that's a lot. Or if you want to imply there's only half left, right? This kind of nuance, if you want to add, like there's only half left, there's as much as half left. This is a good grammar point in Japanese. If you want to imply that it's a lot, as much as, then whatever number, whatever counter that's connected to the number mo, by adding mo, you're implying that you think that that's a lot. If you want to imply that it's only half, or you want to imply that it's as less as something, like in a negative way, then whatever number, counter, shika is how we use. But one thing you want to be careful about with the shika is make sure the conjugation of this sentence ends in a negative conjugation. For example, if you want to say, let's say the fact that, let's talk about the fact that I slept for 3 hours. Okay? For some people, this could be a lot of hours. Let's say you just have like 6 jobs, right? And you usually only sleep 1 or 2 hours. Sleeping 3 hours, that's a lot in that case. In that case, you can use this one, right? Implying that, hey, 3 hours is a lot. You want to say, hey, I slept as much as 3 hours. In this case, you can say, 私は3時間. Sorry about my handwriting. My handwriting is known to be terrible. 3時間も寝た means I slept as much as 3 hours. But let's say you usually sleep like 10 hours or 8 hours, 7 hours, and 3 hours is not much at all. Meaning you want to imply that you only slept 3 hours. You want to imply that it's not much at all. In this case, use this grammar point. 3時間しか. But remember, you have to change the conjugation to negative. So, 3時間しか寝なかった. Negative. This would mean I only slept 3 hours. That's just how we do. Similar to like amari, like not much. You have to end with a negative conjugation, or zenzen, not at all. This one too, you have to end with a negative conjugation. This one too, you have to end with negative conjugation. Okay? So with that, going back to the manga. 10万円もしなかった。はい。This one, for example, 100円する. We use the verb する to do to mean it cost. Of course, we do have another verb that means it takes or it costs, and that's かかる. So you can also say 100円かかる. It costs 100 yen. But another, casual way is to use the verb する. 100円する means it costs 10 yen. Okay, so with this, 10万もしなかった. It didn't cost as much as 10万, 10万. This one is about $700. しなかったんだっけ? Again, he's trying to remember. Was it like it didn't cost as much as like $700? He's trying to remember how much he was able to sell his ball. Right? Okay. Just to let you know, like in how I teach Japanese, or like, when it comes to teaching language, right? There's no bad words in my philosophy linguistically. Like every single word is as equally precious, as equally complex, and as equally important. So, some teachers are like, hey, I'm not going to teach you bad words because that's bad. I'm only going to teach you good words because I want you to be good. Well, who are you to decide what I can learn, right? And in fact, there's, usually many people learn languages by learning bad words first, right? So, my philosophy is that there's no, like, I would say, tsumi, like, word itself doesn't have any bad, like, they're not guilty, basically. It's up to us, if we want to use or not. The important thing though is that at least it's important to know. It's up to you if you want to use or not. But let's say you're spoiled, or your teacher never teaches you bad words, so you never learned any bad word and you come to Japan, and because you never learned them, of course you never use them, and you think that's great, you're being a good person. But let's say someone uses some bad words to you, to insult you. What are you gonna do? You don't know what it means. That's not good, right? So, again, words themselves don't have any sin, I guess. It's up to us. So that's why I just nonchalantly just talk about testicle and stuff. Linguistically, every word is important. That's why. Again, 残りの借金が、残り comes from the verb 残る. Something remains. 残り verb stem. Verb stem can function as a noun many times. So 残り meaning remaining. Remaining 借金 is debt. So the debt that I still have is how you can maybe translate. The debt that I still have is checking here. It's negative. This is the tsucho in Japan. We do use different system, like when it comes to banking. We do have a book or booklet, banking booklet that we use them. We put into ATM machine, and it will add the numbers to show you how much you have and stuff. So this one is negative. So let's see. Oh, that's a lot of that. 3804万120円. So that's about 200, I would say 240k in debt. That's a lot. Yeah. 3804万円. That's the debt. 1. ポチタ分かってるって. Okay. 1 is onomatopoeia for dog barking, typically. Okay. ポチタ is the name. 分かってるって. This て is the casual version of the quote to. It's not the particle to, that means and. It's not that meaning. This quote to is 何々と, for example, 思う. I think that. Or you say, I said that. So this quote to. Casual version is もつんて. 分かってるって. What's omitted here is, like, many times it's 言ってる. I'm telling you, I know. ポチタ, I know what you're thinking. Like, I guess, I don't know. So far, I don't know why ポチタ is barking, but at least that's what it means. Okay. さっさと殺しちまうか. さっさと. さっさと. Like, without further ado, or like, let's do it now. Like, what's the wait? Let's do it now. That kind of meaning. 殺しちまう. 殺し comes from the verb 殺す, to kill. 殺しちまうか. This ち. This one is using the ground point of 何々してしまう. The verb te form plus しまう. This means to this means to do something, regrettably. Sorry, I'm not good at two T's here, huh? Okay. To do something regrettably. Okay? Hi. This one, second year Japanese ground point. This is the official way, 何々してしまう. For example, if you say, like, うんこしてしまう. うんこする is to poop. Really important word that Japanese teachers usually don't teach when it's super important, in my opinion. Again, うんこしてしまう. I unfortunately poop, right? うんこしてしまった. I unfortunately pooped. Let's say you're at work and in the middle of work you didn't have time to go to the bathroom and you just shat in your pants. うんこしてしまった. Shit, I shat in my pants, right? So this ground point, when you do something regrettably. Hi, this is 何々してしまう, but casual version of this ground point. 何々しちゃう. Let me explain a little bit. The verb teform plus shimau is the official way. Casual way, the two ways, depending on which verb you're connecting to. So, if the verb they're using ends with de, if the teform ends with de instead of te, then you have to change that with jiao. For example, 死ぬ to die, teform is 死んで. So if you want to say like, my pet unfortunately died. 死んでしまった. 私のペットが死んでしまった. Unfortunately died. If you want to translate this in a casual way. 死んじゃった. 死んじゃった. ペットが死んじゃった. Okay? This is, again, when the verb you're using ends with de when it's changed to te form. On the other hand, if the verb that you're using, if the te form ends with te, teshimau, then the casual version of that is chau. So for example, this one, 殺しちゃう. 殺す to kill. Te form is 殺して. So yes, it does end with te. For example, let's say you want to say, I accidentally killed someone, right? 殺してしまった. I unfortunately killed. If you want to say this in casual, even more casual, replace this with ちゃう, but then this is past tense, so 殺しちゃった. 殺しちゃった. はい. Looking at this one, 殺しちまうか. はい. This one, this is how we usually use. De will be じゃう, te will be ちゃう, but sometimes people will just replace te shi to chi and still have this mau here. It will still be casual. Just another way of saying using this ground point in a casual way. 何々しちまう. 殺しちまう. Okay? So with that, さっさと殺しちまうか. Maybe we should just kill right away without thinking. Sorry, I forgot to add one more thing. This grammar point, 何々してしまう. The two main ways to use. One is, again, when you do something regrettably. So you can translate in English as, unfortunately, I did something. Or another way is, Another meaning of this ground point is when you complete something. Like let's say you baked a cake and you put it in the fridge to eat it later, right? And then when you come back from work, open your fridge and it's gone. And to your roommate, you're like, hey, did you see the cake that I baked? And your friend, looks happy and be like, oh yeah, I ate it. I ate the whole thing. Completion. 食べちゃった。食べてしまった. Oh yeah, I ate the whole thing. That's another way to use this ground point. This one. With this facial expression, it doesn't look like he feels bad about trying to kill. So he's not using this ground point to mean to do, unfortunately, regrettably. So the second meaning, completion. Let's just kill the person. Okay. And then moving on to this big picture, beautiful picture. Okay. Hi. Triggers the pochita. Akuma. Aku is the kanji for bad. Warui is the kunyomi, Japanese reading. Chinese reading is aku. Ma means evil. So akuma, literal meaning is bad, evil. This one basically means devil. Akuma o ittai koroseba. This ittai, tai is a counter for body, usually dead body. Or like when it's going to be dead, he's talking about killing, so he already uses the counter that's usually used for dead body. So what's connected here? Ittai koroseba. This ba conjugation is if. If I kill one devil. Vu. Again, u with dots. Typically we don't put dots to u, but in katakana word we do. U with dots equals the V sound. V. So vu is how you can read this. Like traditionally, for example, violin was spelled as violin because we didn't have the V sound, just we used the B sound, violin. But then more recently people are using this version because it's closer to the correct pronunciation. So with that, violin is something that more young people are starting to use more. だいたい30万. Approximately 30万. This is 2K US dollars. So with that, what he's saying is if I kill one devil, it's approximately $2,000. Okay. Right. And you see this devil here. And then you also see the title of this episode, Inu to Chainsaw, Dog and Chainsaw. はい。やっぱデビルハンターが一番儲かるな。はい。やっぱ what's omitted here is やっぱり. やっぱり means as expected. As expected. デビルハンター devil hunter が一番儲かる. This one using the ground point of 一番 adjective or noun. 一番, as you might know, literally means number one, but when you connect 一番 with an adjective or noun, it means the most. So, for example, if I say 一番おいしい, the most delicious. 一番日本人, he's the most Japanese. He looks Japanese the most, I guess, right? Okay, 一番儲かる. 儲かる is the verb to earn. As expected, devil hunters make money the most, is what he's saying. I guess, by killing one devil, you get 2K. It is a lot, but then again, you are risking your life, so. Okay. Hi. Alright, so he killed this, monster, a devil, こいつは Okay. こいつは you had つ with small r, so that's why you pronounce it as こいつは. Okay, so this r is actually shortened version of the particle は. こいつは. I mean, try it. Try saying it. こいつは. When you try to say it fast, こいつは, 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 こいつは. Eventually, maybe you will come up with こいつは. Okay? The next question is, what's こいつ? こいつ is another variation of the こそあど word. こそあど. こそあど variation would come up all the time, meaning it's so important and also it's so useful. So it's really important for you to know. So again, as a review, the こそあど changes based on the proximity from you. So the closest to you is ko. A little bit further from the closest area is so. Further away, everywhere else is a. And then when you want to ask a question about it, it's do. Okay? These are just concepts, not actual words yet. Based on what you combine with, you finally have the actual words. Ko, memorize it as place. So koko here, soko there, asoko over there, doko where. And then we have many other variations, right? Here, itsu is one of the variations. Memorize this itsu as bastard. We don't have the literal translation of this, but bastard is the closest translation I can think of. So with that, こいつ this bastard, そいつ that bastard, あいつ that bastard over there, どいつ which bastard. So of course, it is a strong word, so typically people use this when they're trying to pick up a fight, or they're trying to insult someone, or simply someone just talks rough, like gangster-like way of talking. Then, instead of saying that person, あの人, you can say あいつ. Or この人, this person, you can say こいつ. With this, こいつは, well, maybe from how he looks, I assume that he talks in a little bit gangster way. That's why he uses this. And also, he's talking about this devil. So maybe he doesn't need to respect the devil. That's why he's using this way of referring to this devil. This bastard is トマトの悪魔ですね。トマトの悪魔。Devil of tomato. Wow. Does it look delicious to you? Do you like tomatoes? If you like tomatoes, would you eat it? Maybe I would if I, cook enough, just maybe like cut a little portion of it, put in pasta or something. I don't know. Okay. 種からまた復活するんで焼いておいてください。種 seed. From seed, また again. 復活する resurrect. To be reborn. 復活するので、するんで。ので is formal version of から, meaning because because. Okay, so, and then nde is a little bit casual version of node. I know it sounds really weird. Like kara is casual version of cause, node is formal version of that. But then by replacing no with it makes it slightly more casual. So far he's saying because the devil will revive again from the seed. 焼いといてください。はい。焼いといてください。This is the te form of 焼いとく。What does 焼いとく mean? This is from the grammar point of 焼いておく。Verb te form plus おく。おく as a verb means to put. So, literal meaning is to grill something and put it. What does this mean as a grammar point? It means to do something in advance. Like, for example, let's say you are about to leave for work and your roommate stops you and your roommate's like, hey, the stove is still on. What do you want me to do? Right? And you can be like, 消しといて. 消しといて. 消す is to turn off. Can you turn it off in advance or like in preparation or basically in this context? Can you turn it off for me? Yeah. Okay. Hi. So here, 焼いておいてください. Please burn the seed for me for preparation for something or to, in this context, to prevent from it reviving. Okay? Giving this person an advice or like some instruction of how to not have it revive anymore. Okay? はい。よくやった。よく is the adverb version of the adjective 良い, which is same as いい, which means good. Traditionally, 良い is the original form of good. Today we use this one, いい, to mean good. But this one is important to know why, because when it comes to conjugating the adjective いい, the remnant of the original form still remains, meaning when you want to conjugate, for example, when you want to say this is not good, when you want to conjugate the adjective good to negate it, the e adjective rule is to take off e and ku nai is the rule, right? So, many people will be like, okay, so the e adjective is e, okay, take off e and ku nai to negate it, ikunai. Well, unfortunately, no. The adjective e is special in that it's still, when you conjugate, it goes back to the original form. Please remember that. So with that, you have to change it back to yoi, and then from here, conjugate. So, yokunai, not good. Okay? What's happening here is changing e adjective to an adverb. Take off e and ku, and it will make it into an adverb. For example, like beautiful is an adjective. In English, by adding typically ly, you can change an adjective into an adverb. in this case, beautifully, right? Because beautifully is an adverb, you can connect it with a verb. I beautifully wrote a letter. I beautifully slept. I beautifully killed or whatever, right? Okay, so this is the rule for changing e adjective to an adverb. It is to replace e with could. Since I'm talking about this rule of how to change an adjective to an adverb, I'll also explain how to change an adjective or noun into an adverb, and that is to just add ni, and that will become an adverb. So beautiful in Japanese is kirei, and that is an adjective. So kirei ni kaku means I beautifully write. Kirei ni neru, I beautifully sleep and stuff. Okay. Going back to here, yoku. So this is with that you can see that it's an adverb version of the adjective good. Yoku yatta is the verb from the verb yaru. To do, rougher version of the verb suru. You did well is what it means. Yoku yatta Denji. Good job, Benji. Yamiichi. Yami means darkness. Ichi means market. So dark market. What is it? Black market? Right? Yamiichi de koitsu, this bastard, no shitai. Shi means death. Tai, body, death body. So dead body. This dead body. Urya. Hi. This one, urya. Whenever you see urya, whenever you see rya, most of the time this is the casual version of reba. What's reba? It's if. We did see earlier the ba, was it? When he was talking about selling something, I think. Where was it? Hi, here. 悪魔を一体殺せば if I kill one devil, this ba is if, right? Since, it's second time to see the if ba, I'll just briefly list the conjugation form here. The if ba. How to conjugate. Noun or non-adjective. Whatever noun or non-adjective であれば。日本が綺麗であれば行きます。If Japan is beautiful, I will go. 日本が綺麗であれば行きます。E adjective. Take off E and then ければ。このラーメンが美味しければ買います。If this ramen is good, I'll buy. Verb. ルー verb. Take off ルー and then れば。これを食べれば100円あげます。If you eat this, I'll give you 100 yen. U verb. Change the U vowel, change that to A vowel, plus ば。日本に行けば楽しいですよ。If you go to Japan, it'll be fun. Let's move on to irregular verbs. する to do is すれば。ゲームをすれば頭が良くなる。If you play video games, you'll become smart. 来れば。日本に来れば100円あげます。If you come to Japan, I'll give you 100 yen, for example. Yeah. So this is the conjugation chart for the if ba. Since we're talking about ba, I'll also briefly talk about the other ifs. We have a couple other ifs. If you can write these three circles. Ba, to, nara. In the middle, tara. Okay, so all of these are if, meaning this 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 variations of if. This ba is more for hypothetical. If, like, if you were to win the lottery, what would you buy? That kind of hypothetical is how it's typically used. To is more for 100% cause and effect. Like, if it rains, the ground will be wet. If I throw someone to the ground, the person will be hurt. Like of course, right? Like 100% cause and effect. Whenever this happens, this will for sure happen. That's why for to, many times, instead of if, it's also translated as when. When it rains, the ground will be wet. That kind of if. Nara is more for if it's noun, then this kind of if. For example, like if it's hiragana, then I can write, but I cannot write kanji. Like if it's Japan, then I want to go, but I don't want to go to this place. That kind of stuff. That kind of if blank, then that kind of if. Okay, and then tara in the middle. This is the most versatile, most important, most convenient if, because tara can be used in any situation here. And also, typically, these other three, ba, to, nara, typically are used in formal way, formal speech. Tara can be used in both casual speech and formal speech. That's why I always recommend people to just stick with tara, and then just be able to understand if other people use ba or to or nara. Okay. Last thing, how do you use tara? Okay, after this I'll go back to the manga. Sorry, I'm explaining a little bit too much, but tara. This ta comes from the past tense. So basically, if you want, you can memorize tara as plain past plus la. Okay? If you want to say, if I die, right? What's the plain past of die, shinu? Plain past is change the te form and then change te to ta, or if it's de, change de to da. Te form of shinu is shinde, so change de to da. Shinda is the plain past of shinu, plus la, so shindara. 私が死んだらパーティーをして。If I die, hold a party. Okay? With that, okay, let's go back. Sorry, I'm taking too long time for this. Okay, we've only covered 1, 2, 3. Whoa, okay. And it's already an hour. Okay, let's end after this page, okay? Hi. Going back to this. Good job, Denji. 闇市で at the black market. こいつの死体 this bastard's dead body. Or うりゃれば again this one is うれば because 売る is an u verb. 売れば if you sell this dead body 相当いいねになる相当 a lot いいねね It's a little bit formal way, but it means amount. In this context, meaning money amount. になる. It will become a really good amount of money if you sell this at the black market. 報酬は40万だ. 報酬 means reward. Reward is, what is it? 40万, 400,000 yen. This one in today's conversion rate is about 2,500 or something. I don't know. About 2,500. Okay. Azas. This is a really good one. Azas. What does it sound like? Azas. It is ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。It is really long just to say thank you in Japanese, right? ありがとうございます。1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 letters just to say thank you. So, natural human tendency, we tend to be lazy or in other words, we try to be more efficient. So, when you continue to say ありがとうございます, of course, we kind of be lazy. ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。Azas is the final result. Yeah, hope that makes sense. But anyways, if you hear something that sounds like azas, then just take it as thank you. Okay? I say this a lot. Like, when you go to konbini, like convenience store or a supermarket or whatever, just say thank you. Azas. And just leave. そっから the small two. そこから is the original form. そこ that one of the Kosovo words. There. Like ここ、そこ、あそこ、どこ. From there, 借金 again, debt. と利子 is interest. 引いて subtract. Subtracting interest and debt from there meaning the amount here, $2,500. 17万 is the actual money that he'll get. That's about $1,100, which is still a good amount. さらにon top of that, 仲介手数料、仲介する to be middle person, 手数料 fee for middle person と and その他もろもろ。その他 this 他 other than that, like other stuff. もろもろ is more like etc. その他もろもろ引いて subtracting other stuff 残りが7万 the remaining is 7万 how much is that, like $400? So even though his original reward was $2,500, the final money that he'll be getting is about $400, which is not that much. Okay, let's end it here. Sorry, I took long to explain many of the ground points here, but I hope that was helpful. I do have many other pages that I prepared, but we'll try to do it again. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed. I'll continue to translate manga and at the same time teach Japanese. So if you want to enjoy reading manga in Japanese while learning Japanese, please stay tuned. I do teach Japanese courses. One class that I teach is Teach Easy. Please check our YouTube channel. But with that, I will see you soon. I will continue to translate some manga. If you have any other suggestions, let me know. I do buy books and I can translate some. All right, with that, let's see. I try to draw one of the characters to end, to conclude. So let's try this. ポチタ. Okay. Just to let you know, I'm not that good at drawing. With that, let's see. With my short-term memory, where was this saw coming out from? It's already looking really bad. Is this a nose? So it's supposed to have a mouth here. Wow, it looks so terrible. Okay, this is pochita. Pochita. Oops, pochita. Okay. Bye bye. Have a good night, good day, good morning, good life. Bye bye.